This is the Polishing Podcast.
It's much less enthusiasm than you usually have. Usually you're like, welcome back to the Polishing Podcast.
Yeah, I don't know how much, how many more times I'm going to do that. Maybe just start talking and then just fade it in.
All right.
Yeah.
Changing it up. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. Does it really need an intro? Like, there's music for that already.
Right. I mean,
I don't know.
It's totally up to you. This is your creative project. So
That's true.
I'm just here to talk shit.
Oh, wow. You're talking shit, too.
Nope, nobody. Nothing. I'm not.
I was just like, hopefully not me. I got to wake up at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That's too early.
I think it's like at home early.
That's true.
This is the Polishing Podcast. Again. My name is Nico, one of the hosts, otherwise known as Nico All Powerful. This is Allie, my co-host.
Hi. I'm your wife.
This is true. You can find the Polishing Podcast everywhere anywhere popular you'd listen to podcasts, like Spotify, Google, iTunes. Mm-hmm. It's basically the three big ones, honestly.
Yeah, those are the big ones.
What else?
Stitcher, SoundCloud.
Oh, no, not SoundCloud.
Not SoundCloud?
Don't say that.
You're the only one not on SoundCloud.
Because it's a pain. SoundCloud was never meant to have podcasts on it.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
It's a pain in the dick.
So wait, if a
to
tweet
it.
of yours goes viral, you're not going to drop a SoundCloud link?
No, I'll just drop a fucking iTunes link.
What kind of fucking millennial are you? You don't have a SoundCloud.
Easy. I'm this millennial. I'm an elder millennial.
An elder millennial? I don't think we're elder millennials.
We're close enough. What are the oldest millennials? 30?
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm 27, gonna turn 28 this year.
Yeah. I don't think we're elder millennials.
It's too late.
I think we're just regular millennials.
I don't know. But
anyway.
I'm tired because I don't think we've actually mentioned that I got a job on the podcast.
Yeah, you got a whole job.
Yeah.
A jobbity job.
That guy had an opinion about it, apparently.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, he's gone back and forth a couple times.
He's running
today.
a lot of errands today, and I need him to just
fucking stop.
Use some Postmates or some shit because whatever vehicle he uses to travel, it just
it's
makes
30 degrees outside. What are you riding a motorcycle in 30-degree weather for?
Because you're just stupid. Because you're not.
It's
smart.
way too cold to be on a motorcycle.
It's
anyway.
cold as hell. It's cold as shit.
Yeah. I got a part-time job at Whole Foods, but they seem to load me up real hard in the first part of the first week of the month.
Yeah, the first week.
Next week I work. I work 3 more times and then I'm off 4 days in a row. So there's that at least.
Yeah. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would prefer not to come off of these marathon things. Especially with all the hours are so different.
Yeah. It'd be one thing if it were just consistent hours.
Yeah. But it's like the next one. We're not going to get into that. It's just a lot.
But, job, money.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah. It's, better than not having it, I guess.
Yeah. Currently.
Yeah. I'm still learning because I'm working in seafood. I'm going to cut up your fish, all that good stuff.
It's fancy.
It's not. I mean, I guess.
It seems fancy to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's fancier than other grocery stores because you can't go to Giant Eagle or Target or is there anything else here? Aldi.
Yeah.
They don't have.
Trader Joe's even. I don't think they cut up anything there.
Yeah. I was going to say, Giant Eagle has fresh fish.
Yeah. You can get stuff cut at Giant Eagle.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've heard the way they talked about the seafood stuff at Giant Eagle at Whole Foods makes me believe that the quality is just not there.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe it.
But yeah. So I'm kind of sleepy, kind of in my body is in pain, my knee hurts. Not my knee, but I guess this part right underneath
cartilage
my knee.
Under it.
Yeah, hurts because you got to go hand people shit.
Yeah.
And because they're not going to reach for it. So you got to fucking extend yourself.
It's a good thing you're so tall or it would be even worse. Imagine if I were working.
It's not good still. Yeah. Because that's why my knee's fucked up. Yeah.
I'd just be like, Wah!
Yeah, and you stand on a thing, so you're above people too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Why do you think we're able to get above everything?
I just thought everyone back there was tall.
No.
Honestly, my whole life, I just assumed that everyone back there was tall.
No, there's a step.
I was like, it's weird how they only ever hire tall people for these positions.
No, there's a step. You're gonna step, and it raises you up.
Well, I learned something new today.
Yeah, one of the guys, Nick, his name's Nick. He was talking about it. He was like, "Yeah, no, that step's a pain in the ass. Like, this is way harder on your body than people give it credit for, because if you're constantly going up one step, it can be equal to constantly going upstairs.
Right, exactly.
Especially if you lead with one leg every single time, which I do because I'm right side dominant.
Right. But yeah, so Nico got a new job.
Yeah.
Just a little part-time gig.
Yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, but that's why the reason we go on a little rant about it is just because, I guess not rant, little tirade.
Update?
Update.
Tangent.
Yeah, there we go. That's the word.
Yeah.
Is because it's, what is today? Saturday? Friday? Okay. Today's usually the day the podcast goes live at 8 a.m. every Friday.
Yeah.
And it's 3 p.m. and we're just now recording it.
Yeah.
And that's why. Because
that, and then my Thursdays now I work from like 9. Well, I have to leave the house like 8 a.m. and I don't get home until like 6.
Yeah.
And then I've had the whole day of doing work and I'm tired.
Yeah.
So.
And then Wednesday I got home and
we were both just like dying inside.
I thought you weren't home. I don't remember.
On Wednesday?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, because I went to the coffee shop in the morning. No, I was home when you got home, but I was napping.
Oh, that's right. You did
fall
asleep.
Sleep is
and then, Diane came over yesterday. Why didn't we do this Wednesday? I don't remember.
Tiffany came over.
Okay. Yeah, I knew somebody was here. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll be better about it next week.
Yeah. Well, next week I don't work nearly as much.
Right. So you're not going to be as tired.
Yeah, I work Saturday and then Monday, Tuesday.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So look forward to next week when we're perkier.
Yeah.
And on time.
My hair's not a fucking...
I like your hair when you just leave it. Like it's just like curly and cute.
It's just doing stuff. I don't know.
It's good stuff. The stuff it's doing is good stuff.
Okay.
It's just thick and curly and
but yeah.
Nice.
I got notes.
Is that I wasn't sure if we were going to do more conversations about Witcher or if we were going to
either or.
Because I feel like we didn't get to delve into The Witcher enough, it seemed, for the last one. Because remember, I had to literally like run out of here to catch the bus.
Yeah, that's true. You did have to literally run.
I had to literally run out of the house.
Yeah.
So we could do more Witcher convo if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah? Is there anywhere you wanted to start in particular?
Not off the top of my head, just because I don't... Like, we discussed some, like, very surface level stuff on the last one. But I don't remember everything, just because...
Yeah.
You know.
Slept since then.
Well, I would hope so. Jesus.
It's a joke. I don't know. My mom used to say, like, when she would forget things, she'd be like, I've slept since then.
That's okay. I mean...
She also has short-term memory problems, so, like, that might have just been her being like, I've slept, so I don't remember.
Maybe. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, she may not have been joking.
Yeah.
Oh. I've just been saying that to people my whole life.
Yeah, your mom is crazy though.
She's a little nutso. She's kind of nutso, but so.
Oh, I mean, you've been playing the game.
Yeah, I got excited, and I decided that I wanted to play the game. the third Witcher game is available on the Switch.
Yep.
I'm not good at it at all. Like with most video games, I'm just not. I don't know. I'm not coordinated. I can never get a rhythm for like how to. Anyway, I'm not good at it, but I am enjoying it so far. I am tempted to do literally everything in every area, but I was told by my loving husband that eventually made him kind of exhausted and he didn't want to play anymore after a while. So
I mean, you can, but
yeah, I just assume that your advice on video games is probably accurate.
It just depends on your personality, because like you've beaten Pikmin so many times,
right? Because I like the like small goals that they set up. So like what I like about Witcher is it's not like, oh, just like wander around. It's like, oh, there's like different places where you can go that will like give you quests or whatever, and they're marked on the map, and you can just like go and do those things. And I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
I want to do those things.
Yeah, and then anytime you're too low level,
it'll tell you. It'll be like, hey, bitch, you gonna die.
Yeah, Or you'll run up on a question mark. It'll be a monster den, and you'll just see red skulls on all the enemies, and you're like,
That happened to me at one point.
Yeah,
And I
you
was
just gotta-
like, boop, just got right back on Roach, turn the other direction.
yep, you just gotta get out of there.
Yeah. So, and I really like it. It's really fun. There's so many like cutscenes though. And so I'm like, I wish that there were a way to skip through them and just like have I don't know. Because there's so many cutscenes
Yeah.
that when you actually want to like play anything that's like, if you want to play the main story, I feel like it's
Yeah, the story itself has a lot of dialogue.
right. It's like 50% movie, 50%
Yeah,
video game, which is fine. I'm just not used to that. I'm used
Yeah.
to video games that have a lot less of that happening, and
Well,
therefore
yeah.
have a lot less like character development, like actual storyline happening.
I was gonna say the last thing we played together was Diablo,
Right.
and when's the like we played the story one time, and now we just do adventure mode.
I think we played through it twice, but the second time you play through it, it's like so much faster because
Well,
you're
yeah,
like,
you're skipping all the cutscenes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but
and then
it seems like with Witcher you can't really do that. So.
I mean, you can skip the cutscenes, that you'll just miss all of the info.
right, and then I'm like, oh, so I actually have to pay attention to this.
Yeah.
But but other than that, like I like it. So.
Yeah, and then the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game, which
Oh yeah.
didn't have a lot of cutscenes.
Well, we didn't really play through that much of it.
We beat the game.
Oh, that's so true. For like, it took like what, like an hour? That was like nothing.
I mean, it took longer
There
than an
has to be
hour.
more to that game.
No, we beat the game, Beb. We beat up Thanos, and then we beat up his son.
Oh my god, you're so right. Why was that game so short?
It wasn't. I think it took us a couple days.
Right, but like, I don't know. Why do I assume that video games would take more time than that?
I mean, some do, not all of them.
I want my video games to take more time. I
Well,
want
yeah,
I want to sink hours into
Let's see.
different
This-
games.
Current playthrough of The Witcher is almost 100 hours long.
Yeah. And that's the kind of shit I want. I don't want something that's like, oh, you played for 10 hours. Done.
You gonna
I'm
jump
like,
up
hell
here?
no.
No?
For $60 fucking dollars, that shit better be hours and hours and hours of my
I mean,
life.
there's more things we could do on that, but just it didn't grab me the way I thought it would.
Yeah, I thought it would be more exciting than it was.
Yeah. Excuse me.
But yeah, The Witcher's good. I like it. I like learning more about Geralt.
Yeah.
Now that I've played the game, I appreciate the show's iteration of Geralt even more
Mhm.
because it's like the more I see of him in the games, I'm like, oh yeah, Henry Cavill's Geralt really does like capture all the things about
Yeah.
this character. So I appreciate it even more.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah. One of the things the show made for me was there are a couple things that like characters say or do that harken back to the original stories. And I didn't like, there's a sequence later on in the games where somebody sings a what is it? I guess a song. I don't know.
Okay.
Because it's a bard singing a song, and it's actually the story of The Last Wish.
Oh.
And when I first played the games, I didn't even know about that at all because I didn't.
Right, because you had no,
Yeah, I haven't read the books.
so you don't know that story.
Yeah, so it didn't track with me. But this time I was like, oh, because I paid attention and I was like, oh, I know what this
Right.
is referencing.
That's cool. I
Yeah.
like that. There's a lot of little details and ways that it connects.
Yeah.
In that way, it's like if Game of Thrones, if we all just forgot about the weird, disappointing writing in Game of Thrones.
I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
But pour one out for one's homies.
Forever bitter about what those writers did to that.
I mean, so
Interesting.
the actors are forever bitter.
Listen. And they should be. They're like, y'all are going to do what to this character that I've worked so hard to portray so well?
Mm-hmm.
Peter Dinklage is like, I didn't win Emmys for like every year straight playing this character so that y'all could just.
I just love that they were filming the cast reads, and you could see them get upset.
They're like, I'm not getting paid to act right now. So this is just me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Who's it? The guy that plays Varys, who just like puts his hand over his head.
Doesn't he also like knock his script away or something. I don't remember.
I thought that was Peter Dinklage. He
Oh,
just,
I don't remember.
tosses his script on the table.
Oh, and then fucking, oh my god.
Amelia Clark.
Oh yeah,
Daenerys.
sinking in her chair, and then fucking. Oh
And
my
when
god,
that first came out, because I feel like that came out before the episode did, so like
What's his
everyone was
name?
like, "What the fuck could be happening?"
What's Jon Snow's real name? Oh my god.
Starts with a K. Kit Harington.
Yeah, him when he's like.
Looking so stressed. He aged 10 years during that read through. He was like, "Oh my
running
god."
his hands through his hair tight as possible.
Kit Harington is like, "I desperately want to roll in anything else. Literally anything else."
It's like I'm surprised he hasn't cut his hair.
I mean,
I feel like
he's got great hair, so he shouldn't cut it.
yes. I mean, but when you're in a contract that says you have to have your hair at least this length,
I mean, maybe he just likes his hair that length, or maybe he's got other roles that
I don't know.
want him to have Jon Snow hair, because that's who he is now. He's gonna be Jon Snow forever.
I just know like
The guy
whenever
that
Chris
fucked his
Evans.
aunt.
Jesus Christ. I mean, you thought it was hot.
Yeah, I mean, I felt conflicted about how great
I knew right there it was gross.
Yeah, that sex scene was done really well, and then I have conflicting feelings about how I just don't. I'm like, I don't know if this should have been sexy. You could have done, and I don't know.
I mean, they've both had sex before though, so it's not like they're gonna be like awkward about it, especially when they don't know they're related at that point.
That's fair.
This is-
They don't know. They're just like, you're hot, I'm hot, let's do it.
yeah.
Which, you know, is fair. But
Yeah.
also, and like, doesn't he say it at some point?
Say what?
Like, you're my aunt, and she's like,
Well,
so.
no, that happens. Like he tells her like in between episodes because this season needed to be shorter, and then when they're like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like I think she says it doesn't matter because like the Targaryens have done
Right.
stuff like that before, but he's like, yeah, but
He's like, right, but the Starks don't. So I don't know, man.
I wasn't raised that way.
And she's like, right, but this is our family, and that's what they've done.
Yeah, I don't know.
It only every once in a while produces a homicidal maniac.
Yeah.
So
Inbreeding.
I mean,
Sometimes it
I don't
fucks
know. The
people up.
Lannisters did it one time, and they got a homicidal maniac. So,
I mean, when your mom's Cersei though.
but that's the thing. She's not even. Joffrey's way more like horrible. I mean, it's
Well,
because-
that's true because like
Right.
even in the first season, she's like, "Don't kill Ned Stark," and then Joffrey's just like, "Nah, kill him," and then she's
Nah.
like, "Wait, what?" And then
right and
because she
then-
knows it's gonna end in war, which is
Right.
not the smart political decision.
Right. She's like, no, no, and then he just does it.
Yeah,
because
but
he's a
she's
little
not.
shit.
Yeah, but she doesn't
God.
have any actual power because she's just the mom to the king.
The first time I watched the
Sorry.
Purple Wedding episode
Which one's that
where
one?
Joffrey dies.
Oh, is
It
that
was-
after the Red Wedding?
Yeah, it's after. The
Oh,
Red
okay.
Wedding.
So I was wondering if that's why that's called that.
Yeah, because it's when Sansa and Tyrion are married.
Yeah.
Like after that, and Sansa runs away, and they all think it's Tyrion. He goes on trial. Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But God, that scene where he dies is,
Just chokes to death.
it's good to watch. It's probably one of the more satisfying deaths.
Mhm.
And it's crazy too because you get to see like how good of an actress, what's her name is, because she's like
Natalie Dormer?
no the Cersei, but that's
Oh.
her name.
Yeah.
But it's so great because she goes from one minute being like evil ice queen plotting, like there's some political drama happening at the wedding, and then her child is dying in front of her, and suddenly she's like, oh my God, like you actually see some of the humanity behind the veneer,
Yeah.
which is pretty wild. You good, bro?
I'm just making sure this is straight.
Why's it gotta be straight?
So I'm not talking into a spot that doesn't make sense.
Anyway, yeah, it's good. And I feel like Witcher does a lot of the things that I wish Game of Thrones did or continued to do that they did well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. I know people compare them because it's medieval fantasy,
Yeah.
but it's a weird comparison because it's very clear
Yeah.
that the shows aren't like Game of Thrones was a political drama that in the end ended up being more action oriented, whereas The Witcher, it doesn't really start like very actiony. That first
Right.
episode ends with a lot of action, but
Right.
it doesn't. It's not an action series, but it's
Right.
also not a deep political
Right.
thing.
It's much more of a traditional drama in
Yeah.
that sense. It's like, here's a few characters, some bad shit's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to hope that they survive.
Yeah. But like Game of Thrones, one of its main draws was here's all the politics that go into
Right.
scheming for the throne
Yeah, all the political intrigue.
once the king dies because he's a
Right.
dumbass and drank before going hunting boars.
Yep. Well, he's an alcoholic, right? Like that's
Well, yeah, but he's also a dumbass.
right. He's also a dumbass. But the alcohol he's clearly addicted. So.
Yeah.
But he's also clearly depressed. He has the meanest wife in the world.
Yeah. That doesn't love him because he doesn't love her.
Right.
They're only married because bringing
Because
the families
because
together.
Tyrion Lannister is more powerful than everyone else is
Right.
basically why. Because he has
mean
more
Tywin?
money. Yeah, not Tyrion. I meant Tywin. Because Tywin has more money than
Yeah.
everyone all put together.
Yeah.
Shit's gold. Don't they make that joke at some point?
Maybe, I
Shit's
don't know.
gold.
Even though the Lannisters aren't the richest people in the world.
Well, no.
But yeah, I'm just saying. But they are the richest people in the Seven Kingdoms.
Right. In terms of gold, I mean, it's
Yeah.
obvious that the Tyrells have like crops.
Yeah.
Like they have that sort of like material things. Like,
Yeah.
you know, do you want to survive winter?
Yeah, but
You better be nice to us.
Yeah.
Because we grow all the shit. So.
if you're looking to make something like political
Right.
strength, you're gonna marry two families that are like, oh, this person can fund any amount of war and army.
Yeah.
And then the Baratheons, I mean, he just happened to be the usurper and won.
Right. Well, yeah, because and it all came down to Lyanna, right? It all
Hmm.
came down to Jon Snow's mom, and Robert's like love for her and
Yeah.
convinced that she wanted to be with him instead of Rhaegar, who sounds like a hottie with a body. So
I mean, from what I've seen, he doesn't really have a body in the show.
in the books, he's like this tall,
But he's supposed to
muscular
like, so he's
warrior.
not the weird little skinny dude that
Yeah.
looks exactly like Daenerys' brother.
Right. He looks much less Weasley like Viserys and much more like
Because
hot,
have you seen
sexy.
the memes where it's like the armor that you want to wear versus the armor with good stats, and it's Geralt and then fucking what's his name?
Yeah, Rhaegar.
Rhaegar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know, it's
But to be fair,
when
though,
I saw it in the
yeah.
show, I was like,
That's-
why does Rhaegar look like I could pick him up and throw him? He's supposed to be this legendary warrior
yeah,
who like won a bunch of battles before he like dies in battle with Robert.
Mm.
Like and Lyanna was like all about that dick. Like she
yeah,
wanted that dragon dick bad.
yeah.
And
I don't know.
and she got it minimum one time
Yeah,
because Jon exists, but
minimum once.
minimum once. But it
Because-
seems like they had like run off to be together
Yeah.
because she wasn't supposed to. She was betrothed to someone else.
Mm.
So they kind of were defying their families.
Yeah.
And Rhaegar was actually cheating because he had a family. He had a wife and children.
Yeah.
But it seems like they were in love, and that's real sad.
Yeah. It's also real sad that, you know, you don't, like, in the books, you get a sense that Robert Baratheon was, like, fucking just a
Oh, yeah.
massive warrior and
Yeah.
stuff. But then it's like, you don't really get that sense in the show, but it's just hilarious to think from reading that first couple things about Ned reminiscing about what Robert used to look like, and
Yeah.
then seeing Rhaegar in the show being like, how the fuck was that even a... Like,
Yeah.
even old Robert Baratheon.
Right. Could kick the shit out of TV Rhaegar.
It was like-
Rhaegar truly, he was supposed to be this like tall, like Khal Drogo, like
Yeah.
tall and muscular and like the epitome of the golden haired warrior,
Yeah.
right? And like, I mean, he was the fucking prince. Like he
Yeah.
was the crown prince of the Seven Kingdoms, and they had some dude who weighed like 120 pounds play him. I
Yeah.
was like, is that dude even 6 feet tall? Like he's supposed to be tall and handsome and muscular and gorgeous and like
Yeah. Yeah. When I first saw that flashback, I was like, is that Viserys? Like, wait, what's happening?
right. Like what's
And I get, like...
and
if you-
Lyanna's supposed to be like 14. She's supposed to be a youngin.
Well, yeah. That's... I mean, isn't Daenerys supposed to be really young in the first season as well?
Yeah, she gets pregnant at 14.
I was going to say, like, like, Emilia Clarke was what? She had to have been 20-something when they
Yeah,
cast
she was
her.
like in her mid or late 20s.
Yeah.
But and in the show, I think they age her up, but she's supposed to be 13 in the first episode.
Yeah, which...
And like Viserys then is supposed to be like 16 or 17. Like he's like a little twerp.
Yeah.
So it makes it even funnier when they like murder the shit out of him because he's just like some asshole teenager.
And then he gets
And I'm like, we
molten
can't
gold.
just go around murdering every teenager who's kind of a dick.
I mean, you can when you're the only law in the land.
And also when, you know, he breaks the one rule, which is don't bring a sword into our holy place.
Yeah.
So, and also he's like an abusive asshole. Like he is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
But he's also supposed to be like very young.
Yeah. She's 33 now. I don't remember when the first season aired. I guess I could look that up
like
real
10
quick.
years ago ish.
Let's
So
find
she
out.
would have been, like,
2011. So yeah, 8. Yeah, she was mid-20s, like
Yeah, like mid
about
20s.
our age.
Yeah. So if they had done this all like
Excuse me.
because they make the Stark kids mostly the age they're supposed to be. The Rob is supposed to be about 15 when the show starts.
I think.
So they make Rob and John a little older.
Yeah.
And therefore like Theon is a little older.
Yeah, it also checks out when you read about how emo John is because he's supposed to be
He's
like
supposed to be
14.
14.
Yeah. Which is prime. I don't like my family years.
And that's like, and he goes to the wall and he thinks that he's all special and like
Well, he is special.
he
just has no idea.
He just doesn't even know why.
Yeah.
And of course, like a 14-year-old who's like, I dream of joining the military, and then they get there and they're like, oh, this shit blows.
Well, yeah. He also
It's
went
like,
to
yeah,
the wall,
yeah.
which is like they sent criminals go, oh, I don't want to die. Sometimes.
Sometimes they die instead.
Yeah. I think more often than not, they're like, nah, just
good.
hang me. I don't care.
Yeah. So, you know.
And he signed up for that. Why would anyone? Somebody should have slapped him. Why
Well,
didn't anybody slap him?
And that's the thing is like nobody seems to want to just be honest with John at any point throughout any of these things except for maybe Sam.
Yeah.
Everybody is just like, yeah, sure, John, that sounds like the honorable thing to do. And then they just let him fuck shit up. I'm like, is no one going to tell him this is a terrible idea? Maybe Tyrion.
Yeah.
Tyrion is because
While he's
Tyrion
doing flips.
yeah, while he's doing fucking flips. God.
The
I'm like-
book is so good in that regard.
Tyrion is just like
Doing flips.
doing flips sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes he just does gymnastics. And
It's
I'm
weird.
like, I'm really glad they made the choice not to include that from the
Oh,
books.
I wish they would have.
Because Peter Dinklage would have been like, no, thank you. I am not doing that. It's pretty wild.
What, you don't think they could find a stunt double that could do all that?
I mean, I'm sure they could.
You know
but-
what? Honestly, if anybody ever does a parody of
Oh my God.
that scene where, you know how in Hot Rod, where you can clearly tell it's not Andy
Yeah.
Samberg in that like musical, what is that?
Like a Footloose
Yeah,
montage.
the Footloose montage. It's just, instead of it being a dwarf, it's a full-grown man does a flip off a thing. Back to Peter Dinklage.
Right.
It's just
Or they
like,
could go the Orgasmo route and
Oh
just
my
like
God.
have a black dude. So for those of you who may not know, there is
they have Lawrence Fishburne do a flip.
oh my God, that would be incredible. They'd have to have a stunt double.
He
for
hasn't
Lawrence
worked out
Fishburne.
since Matrix 2, so
Right.
there's no
he's
way.
Like, he's like, I haven't lifted a weight. I haven't carried anything.
He's like, I had to swing a sword on top of a car. Nah.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm just
bro.
going to do other things from now on.
So there's a great film created by Matt Stone and Trey Parker, who are behind South Park. And it's called Orgasmo, and it's about this young Mormon man who wants to get married and he wants to save up money for his wedding.
This
in
really went
the
off
Mormon
the rails
temple.
faster
Yeah,
than usual.
real fast. And
You gonna come up here? or
so
what?
he gets sent to Los Angeles on his like Mormon mission thing, and he ends up at a porn director's house, and they're like, oh, we lost our actor who's going to play the main character in our porn film.
Mhm.
He's a superhero named Orgasmo, and he has an Orgasmo ray, which is a gun that shoots people and causes them to orgasm.
Which, you know.
And he's like, well, I'll do it, but I won't do any of the sex things because I'm saving myself for marriage because I'm like Mormon.
Mm-hmm.
And so they always have these scenes, like he does everything up until the sex, and they're like, bring in the stunt cock. And it's always someone who looks absolutely nothing like him. But the absolute funniest moment is when they bring in like a dark skinned black guy, and he is like, he's like white and blonde and blue eyed, and they're like, bring in the stunt cock, and like everybody kind of looks. And then they're like, nobody will notice. And then they just like keep filming this porn film. It's incredible. And I did not know that there was a term just called stunt cock.
Well, I mean, if they're stunt actors, stuntmen, stunt women, Why
Right.
wouldn't there be stunt cocks?
I don't know. I
You don't think there's stunt vaginas for those close-ups?
probably not, because the porn industry doesn't care about whether women are hurt in the course of their filming.
Yeah, maybe not. I don't know.
And I hope.
But also, I have no idea. I don't watch
Right.
any of the porn movies that have plot to them.
Yeah, and it's funny too. It's like he kind of takes the acting role really seriously, which is perfect.
I mean, there are awards that they win.
That's true.
I don't know if Best Actor is one of them, but it might be. I have no idea.
He would have been in the running. He would not have attended the award show, but yeah, and like eventually, I think someone figures out that it's him on it because they like see the cover of the. I don't know. It's like, it's a great movie, and then they find out the Orgasmo ray is like real and it works, and so they steal it.
Start shooting people.
Yeah, like an old lady. She's like literally, she's got a walker, and they have no reason to shoot her. She's just an old lady in a walker. Why are you gonna shoot this lady?
Because maybe she hasn't had an orgasm in
I don't-
30
she-
years.
Well, she maybe or maybe not. Old people have sex all the time.
Was this before Viagra though?
No, Viagra's been around a lot longer than that.
Oh, I just thought
Yeah.
Viagra wasn't
And
popularized
even then,
until
she
like
could be a lesbian
late
old
90s.
lady, or she could just be going ham on herself. Anyway, she's just walking with a walker, just a little old lady walking.
I
down
don't
the
believe
street,
her arthritic bones
And
could
they
do
just, and they just
do
shoot
what
her.
she needs
And
anymore.
she's like barely holding on to the walker. It's so fucked up. She's like, oh. And it's like the guy that plays his sidekick just has a dildo on his head. I don't know. It's just there's a lot. There's a lot
That's
to
hilarious.
unpack, as you might imagine. But my
I'll
hope for
probably
the
put in a thing of the box art
oh yeah,
because I mean,
people need to know.
yeah.
More people need to watch Orgasmo. I mean, actually, I haven't seen it in like 10 years, so I have no idea if it's like really awful and has not aged well. But I remember watching it as a teenager and absolutely dying.
Look, if people are already saying that Tropic Thunder couldn't be made now,
Which is true. And should it even have been made when it was made? Maybe not. And like, I get the whole point is that like, oh, he's in blackface and it's racist and that's the joke.
well, yeah, everybody calls him out on it. They're like, what? Even like, there's a new
Right.
segment when he's cast, and it's like, like it's supposed to be making fun of those character actors
Right. Who
that
just-
do that shit.
Right. But like, even then, I don't know.
Also, it's supposed to be a surgery, but clearly at the end of the movie, it's coming off.
Right.
So, like, what's going on there?
I
don't know.
I don't know. I truly,
Like, his hair's starting to get blonde again.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
yeah, I truly don't understand.
I don't know.
But I mean, it's also supposed to be nonsense.
Oh, every part of that movie is making
Right.
fun of Hollywood.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like context for those kinds of things matters the most.
Right. That's fair.
Because people were also talking about Blazing Saddles, which uses the N-word a lot, but it's also making fun of all the dumb white people in the movie.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I guess it's more a matter of like putting it in context, like you said, and putting it also like recognizing what's supposed to be irony and what is well done irony and what's not so well done.
Yeah.
Right? So like, because you can put jokes like that in something and there's a line
Yeah.
between it, oh, this is funny, I see what this is lampooning, like I enjoy this, and it also has something critical to say.
Yeah.
And like, oh, like you just wanted to get people to say the N-word. Looking
Yeah.
at you, Quentin Tarantino. Looking right at ya.
He doesn't care. He's looking at your feet.
Right. Fucking
He won't look at you. He'll look at your feet.
fucking creep ass. That man.
Has he ever looked anyone in the eyes?
I don't know. Probably not.
Watch interviews. He's just like this the entire time. Straight down.
Just stare at like, sir, I'm wearing boots. You can't see my feet.
He's like,
In my mind, I see your feet. He's creepy. He's creepy.
He's got a weird face.
A very weird face.
Look, I don't usually judge people based off physical appearance, but he's got a weird face.
He looks like
He looks
he
like
lives-
someone smushed a doll's face, and then just like, there we go.
and was like, this guy likes feet. We're done here.
This doll likes feet.
And truly, there's nothing inherently wrong with liking feet. What's weird is that he manages to make that a part of all of his movies.
Oh yeah,
He just brings his creepy fetishness
into his films. That's
into
the
his
weird part.
films.
Yeah.
That's what's weird about it. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be weird if he just, like, privately liked feet. Like,
Yeah.
A, we would never know, and B, even if we did, it'd be like, whatever.
whatever.
Like,
You know,
he
go
gets
ahead.
to do whatever he wants with consenting adults. Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
What?
But, like, it's that he has at least one, like, long shot of
Oh.
some woman's feet
Yeah.
in every film he makes. And that shit's got to be weird for everybody on set.
Yeah, the camera guy is like, all right, now get real close on the feet. Get real
Quentin's
up
like,
in
get
there.
close, get closer.
Can you put the lens on
Like,
her
you know, he has a
toe?
boner right then. That's weird.
Yeah,
that's
not
weird.
That's not cool.
And there's like dozens of crew members for
Yeah.
something like that.
She's fighting my shorts.
Listen, I don't like pants either.
I'm wearing more pants.
I'm upset about it.
But yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah, that shit is weird.
Yeah,
Just like, don't
Also,
do that. If you're out there, you're like, I want to make some
Surf.
art.
I don't know.
Don't put your weird
Probably. I don't know.
kinks in
Doesn't
all
matter.
of your art that we just have to see now.
Yeah, that's weird. It's a weird
Especially
thing.
then, don't tell people that that's your weird thing, because I wouldn't have really known that if he didn't just like, if he wasn't like, yeah, I'm into feet.
Is
Don't
that
con-
how we know about
I
that
think
though?
so. I think someone straight up was like, why do you have so many
Oh.
feet shit? What's up with that? And he
He's
was
like,
like,
oh, I like feet.
makes my dick hard, bro. And they were like, ew.
When are you gonna do a movie about dance or just shot from?
Oh my god, he must watch that scene from Black Swan where she's like got all of her fucked up feet from ballet dancing, and he's like, oh.
I mean, maybe, or he's like, oh god, look at her feet, they're so messed up.
Oh yeah, because she like pulls something out of her foot. Have
Isn't
you
it
seen
like
Black
a
Swan?
quill?
Yeah, something like that. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh,
All I know is
that's
the
rough.
scene between Natalie Portman and what's her face.
Mila Kunis.
Yeah, and that I'm pretty sure it's not real. Isn't it
Yeah.
a dream or
Or
something?
we're not sure if it's real.
Yeah,
But
between
it's
the two
probably
of
not
them.
real.
Yeah.
Because
Aren't they
she's-
rivals?
Well, yeah, but also like she's like hallucinating a lot of shit.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well,
she's
isn't
going insane. So.
yeah? Isn't she also hallucinating? She's turning into a swan, or is she turning into a swan? I don't know.
I mean, that's the question.
Yeah.
Is like, is she turning into a swan or is she
Who's that movie directed by?
Darren Aronofsky?
Okay, that checks out.
Yeah,
I know his shit is weird.
he's on some weird shit, but
Yeah.
but in that way it's cool because you're like, well, like I like movies that don't actually just come right out and tell you every single thing.
Yeah.
But like it's like the opposite of Inception, right? Because Inception tried to have an explanation in the film of how things worked, but that shit didn't make any fucking sense.
What
The
was
movie
the
would've-
explanation?
There was like some point where they're like, oh yeah, you like fall to pull you out and you like go to sleep and you're in a different dimension, sort of. That's like I don't know, a different layer of consciousness. I don't know. It was nonsense. There's some point where like Tom Hardy or someone sits down and tries to explain it. And I actually would have preferred if they just had no explanation at all.
Oh, like getting shocked wakes you up. 'Cause
Right.
That's how you wake up.
But also like everything before that, that's like, yeah, you can go,
Oh, further into someone's consciousness if you make them fall asleep within the dream.
which doesn't
I mean,
make any fucking sense.
yeah, I don't know. It's pseudo.
It's not
It's
even
just whatever.
It's not even a cool idea.
I mean, I guess the only way you think of that is because of like, you know, you have a dream within a dream where you're like, oh, I woke up, oh, thank goodness, and then you're like, oh wait, no, I'm still dreaming, and then you finally wake up and you're like, oh, I'm awake. So it's
Right.
like it probably stems from that idea.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what if there were deeper
Actual
parts of your
consequences,
subconscious, yeah, if you were to be asleep within being asleep.
Yeah.
But
But that idea, it was not, it was the opposite of that.
I don't know. I haven't watched that movie in a really long time.
Yeah. I watched it once and I was like, this was boring.
I don't know.
I was like, why does everyone like this film?
I couldn't tell you now. It's been so long since I watched it.
I was like, I mean, there's so many good actors in this, so I like give a shit about it. And then
Yeah.
I watched it and I was like, oh, this movie sucks.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know.
But you know me, I always have hot takes.
Eh.
Hot takes.
Sometimes your hot takes are lukewarm at best.
Well, because I try to word them in a way that's respectful.
No. I'm not talking about the way you
Oh.
word them, just in general.
No.
Yeah.
I want to be an interesting and controversial figure.
You
But I'm
can be
not.
one without being
I'm
controversial.
really not that controversial. I mean, I'm very opinionated,
Yeah.
but usually I couch it in my opinion. So
Yeah.
it's not offensive.
Yeah. Also, we're way out of The Witcher.
Oh yeah, we haven't even we have not.
I mean, we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
I mean,
I'm just saying because, like, you said you were like, oh, we could talk about it, and then it went.
I just assumed that we would, but I don't.
You know that meme of it's like talk about like do this or do that, and the car's skidding towards the other thing. Our brains were
You
the
need to make
cars skidding that.
You need to make that.
Talk
one of
about The
those.
Witcher.
Yeah.
Talk about a bunch of random bullshit.
Other random bullshit. Talk about The Witcher. We need to talk about how there needs to be more male nudity in fantasy shows because
Did we even see Henry Cavill's butt?
No, we don't.
I don't think you really see Geralt's butt in the game either.
I'm pretty sure I
Do you
saw
see his
it
butt?
in like that first shot of the game where he's like dreaming or whatever, and Yennefer's there at Kaer Morhen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember.
And then I think we get some
Oh,
girl
wait,
butt
you
in
get
the
it.
first 30 seconds.
Well, that's only
of
if you
the
play the
Witcher
tutorial.
game.
If you don't do the
Oh, that's true.
tutorial,
I
it's
need the
not. You don't
tutorial.
even see it.
Whatever, but it's in the friggin' tutorial.
Yeah.
So the real truth is, how come I'm not seeing more Geralt ass? Full frontal nudity. Why do I see bush? And no twigs and berries. No.
Do you see Bush on the show?
I think you do, like once or twice. It's like they don't spend a whole lot of time on it, but they show a lot of titties. And I'm like, when am I going to see some man ass?
Will there be?
I'm trying to see some man booty. Equality.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not fair.
I was gonna say it's probably pretty hard to ask people to show their whole soul on film.
I mean, it's not their whole soul.
I'm talking about because if all we're seeing are titties, it's different. It's like I feel like that whoever the actress that plays Yennefer would have been like, you're gonna have to pay me like damn near Henry Cavill levels if you want to see everything.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's not enough male nudity.
Yeah, that's fair. It's actually surprising that there's less of him.
Yeah.
A lot of shirtless, but that's it.
Right, and I'm like, where's that butt? Where's the scene where Jaskier rubs the lotion on his booty? Because they talk about it, but where is it? Was it filmed somewhere? Henry Cavill, leak it. Leak it.
It probably wasn't filmed. It was probably just talked about.
Dang it. I mean, I'm sure somebody was rubbing something on his butt. All the training he was doing and stuff. I'm sure his butt was sore. Somebody was rubbing something on his booty. And I don't want to see that. Is all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, of course you do.
There's a lot of titties, and really the only person we see shirtless is Henry Cavill. I'm like, where are my other fine ass men shirtless?
I mean, are there other fine dudes in the
I don't
show?
know, but there should be. Why are there all these fine ass women with their titties out? I'm just asking for equality. That's all. As a bisexual viewer, all I want is fucking equality.
You want to see all kinds of nips.
What I want to see is not fewer titties.
You want to see more man
More
ass.
man ass. I want the two to have equal amounts of screen time.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be fair, yeah, there's not a lot of attractive dudes. Not like
Right.
really.
So then I'm like, well, why are all the women super hot then all the time? Like, what's
Not all of them are they?
No, but most of them are.
I mean, to be fair, we do spend a lot of time with the sorceresses, and their whole deal is
Right, but then why aren't the men hot?
that's within the politics of the
Right.
lore of the
But
show
that
and
just feels
stuff.
like an excuse to hire some mediocre ass middle-aged dudes.
Well, yeah.
You know what would make Strugglebore more interesting? If he were hot.
Would it make him more interesting?
I don't know. I would care about him more. Currently, from the moment I saw him, I was like, kill that motherfucker, Geralt. Like, look at that man's fucking facial hair. All wispy on top of his head. Shave that shit, bro. Have some self-respect. You're a sorcerer. Or just grow some fucking hair, dude. You're a sorcerer. How are you balding? You're a sorcerer. That doesn't make any sense. He's like, oh, look at all these naked women and all their titties. So why are you?
Are they
ugly?
even real women?
It doesn't matter. We see them, and they were at some point real women actually being filmed. So I'm like, where are these?
Like within. Okay,
Right.
I was going more.
So I'm
base
like,
level.
Strugglebore, where's your six pack? That's what I'm trying to see.
I was because you went meta with it. I was more talking about were those women even real, or were they part of the illusion of nicety that he gave himself?
Imagine creating that whole illusion. You don't fix your bald spot.
I mean,
You did all that work,
it's just an illusion.
and you're just allowing your hair to be wispy as shit.
I don't know.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be me. So I want equal nudity across all genders.
I don't know if that'll happen.
Well, I know, but it's what I want.
Okay, yeah,
it's what the
that's fair.
people deserve.
Yeah.
But that's a problem in the fantasy genre more broadly. Like that's like a critique that's been leveled at everything. Game of Thrones in particular. Game of Thrones was real bad. Titties everywhere.
I mean, wasn't it just the first season that had sex and titties?
No.
I don't really remember it being.
I mean,
like,
there was definitely less sex because there was a lot more like war and violence and death in the later seasons.
I was gonna say, like the show, like it got a lot of people. It's like, there are a lot of boobies.
This is a lot of fucking on the show.
And then
They were like, just kidding.
they're like, whoop, gotcha. And then they just stopped.
Everybody gets got.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So really, my main thing for season 2 is equal nudity.
I don't know that that's gonna happen,
I
but
know.
you can hope for it.
I just want to see that.
I just feel like spoilers, obviously,
Yeah.
with Geralt finding Ciri. The
Right.
last thing he's gonna want to do is be naked around a small child.
Yeah, but if he and like Yennefer are chilling,
I mean, so far they're not. They're not
Right.
like at the end of the show or the
That's
season
true.
1. They're not even.
like near
They're
each other.
well. I mean, they are, but they
Right.
don't know it.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see Yaskir's booty before we see Geralt's.
Maybe actually that
That-
makes more sense.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of a cutie, so
Yeah.
he looks kind of like the guy that played George on Grey's Anatomy, but like cuter. He's like
I
a
guess?
cuter George.
I don't know. I don't really see it.
I see it.
Okay. I mean, that's. I mean, you're making a comparison, so that's all that matters.
That's true.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm just.
I was gonna say, when do you have to leave?
Well, let's see. Tiffany's gonna leave at like 4:15.
No. Okay.
So, and I'm assuming they'll just like grab a bus or whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. That I just like our thoughts on The Witcher. We like the show.
Yeah.
I don't know that we really need to go too far into it, unless we wanted to do a like in-depth episode by episode thing.
Yeah, but that's like a lot.
Yeah, I feel like that's not anything that was
It's
really
not.
done.
It's not what the people want.
I mean, they might, but they haven't said so.
Right. If you do want that, I'll do that.
Yeah. What? It's just said, "Oh man, something."
Yeah.
I'll double check.
Sometimes we have to make sure no one's dying outside of our apartment.
I don't see anything.
It's probably just a school child making noise,
Yeah.
as the school children do.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Every once in a while, there are some teenagers that'll just walk by and like someone will scream like they're being harmed, and we'll like run to the window like,
And it's
"Is
just
everybody
children.
okay?" And then they're just like,
Or it's people just doing.
people
being
just
dumb.
shouting. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
being
why are
dumb
you
as
shouting?
fuck.
Like if you just I don't know.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's like concerning this is a residential area. If people start screaming like they're being harmed,
Yeah, there's one store and it's the one across the street,
like
and
we're
then
like
there's a gas station a little further down.
right. But I'm like people are just living here. Like
Yeah.
are you
this-
okay? Like stop shouting then.
Yeah.
Like it's very strange.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And it always makes me like scared and anxious for people. I'm like, are you safe?
Yeah.
Because it'll be the one time you don't check when you hear someone scream that then you'll like see a news bulletin that there was someone who murdered.
Or you'll just hear cop cars coming and
right,
stuff like
and
that.
that'll be the time that
Which
someone was
also
murdered that we could have
happens
stopped.
all the time.
Right.
You know, it's hard for us to be like, oh, is anything actually happening? Or are they just going towards the retirement home that's nearby?
Yeah, we live near like a senior home, and so there's like ambulances and police cars every once in a while. I assume because people are sick.
It's like, I don't know about every once in a while. I can guarantee hearing at least one siren a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is also just a road that connects a lot of things.
Right.
So it's easiest for
yeah.
them to get
And
to and
it's-
from places.
It's an easy way to get to the hospital,
Yeah.
or to the fire station and the police station further down
Yeah. So.
that away. So
Oh, well.
we're just at a little midway point.
So I have notes. Since
Perfect.
It's only been 40-something minutes.
Let's do it.
Like, I would start from the top, but I'm going to start from the bottom.
Started from the bottom. Now we're here.
We don't talk about him anymore.
I know.
Moment of silence.
Moment of silence for us being Drake fans.
I'm not me.
You went to that concert with me.
Yeah. What was I going to do? We had lived in Pittsburgh for less than a month.
You
We
could
just stay home?
You could have stayed home.
Wh-
You seem to enjoy yourself, so that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All
When-
I'm saying is it seemed like you had fun.
I didn't know the songs. But also, I would never call myself a Drake fan even after that.
That's fair.
It's just,
He's a problematic figure, but he has dropped some bangers. So
which I guess we could talk about that.
about what?
The fact
Going to see Drake?
No. The fact that you can have talking
Oh.
about artists and musical artists and actors and stuff, and even though they're problematic, there are ways to consume their media without directly supporting them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest problem, right, is
Also, just because you watch something with someone in it does not mean you are an advocate for that person.
Oh, right, for sure.
Which I feel like is a lot harder for people to understand.
Oh yeah. And the thing is, right? Like in
What do you
a
think, Nam?
society like ours.
Can you ask Nam how she feels?
Nem, how do you feel?
It might.
Yes. Like
That's how
that
she
interview
felt.
with the police dog. They're like, "What will you be testifying to today?" And all you hear is like,
Just-
and it's like, yes. Okay, so my thing is like when you live in a society that's influenced, like as most on this planet are, society is influenced by oppressive forces. You pretty much can't unlearn and escape knowing or believing things that are harmful or problematic. Like there's pretty much no way to be absent of those things.
Yeah.
Which is not the same thing as being an advocate of those things, because often, not for everyone,
Yeah.
but for most of us, I think, who are just sort of like not trying to be assholes, right? It's like subconscious, we're not aware, and therefore sometimes we act on or in ways that are just like unacceptable.
Yeah.
And we don't know that they're unacceptable, and if we knew, we probably wouldn't do them.
Yeah.
And that's very different than people who are like actively predatory or abusive or manipulative or harmful. Like Nazis don't fall into this category. They literally know that what they're doing is harmful, and that's the point.
Yeah, well, if one of your ideologies is genocide, you can't really.
Right. Like you can't compromise that.
Yeah.
So like if someone's a whole Nazi, like I don't know. But also at the root of a lot of this, right, is capitalism.
Yeah.
Because if you can't avoid taking in someone's art without literally supporting them, like physically or fiscally supporting them, then that makes it really difficult to then take in whatever content they're creating.
Yeah.
Because
with the advent of the internet, it's become much easier to consume content without ever directly supporting things.
Right.
I'm not going to tell you how. It involves maybe taking a boat, pretty big boat, skull crossbone
Pretty big
sails
boat.
onto the sea, maybe singing some shanties.
Which we would never tell you how to do.
Nope. Or advocate for.
Because that's technically stealing.
It's not technically stealing. It is stealing. It is
Which is
illegal.
Stealing. And
I'll never tell you that you should do it. I'm saying
that
it is possible.
It is possible. We are stating the mere fact that it is possible. But even then, like, so even if you don't want to do that, or you don't have the ability to do that, or you're not aware of how to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, like, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
like it matters, and people should be held accountable.
Yeah.
Right? But holding people accountable and then like not consuming content that you just fucking want to consume anyway, like it's just But I mean, I understand, because there are certain folks who, like, whatever I learn about them is so egregious that I can't enjoy the things that they create or are involved in.
Yeah, like Wesley Snipes. I don't want to watch the Blade movies ever
I don't
again.
fucking want to watch Blade anymore.
Also, if you don't know what Wesley Snipes did,
bruh,
learn you some. When he was with Halle Berry, yeah, he abused her so badly that she is deaf in one of her ears now.
She lost 80% of her fucking hearing in one of her ears. And
people,
this man is just out here in the world.
Yeah, people don't talk about it
People
ever.
don't talk about it at all.
And he never apologized, never said anything on it.
That was it.
Yeah. It's one thing, like, if he was, like came out.
Right. Had a sincere apology, was held accountable, and, like, actually did. No.
Yeah,
he was just
nothing.
like, yeah, so, and just moved on.
Yeah. Or if that, he ever, I don't
even admitted to doing it. Like,
yeah, I don't think he ever said anything about it.
And, like, this is, like, a very easily Googleable, like, this is available in the wide world. Like,
you don't have to search the deep web kind of thing.
Like, Johnny Depp fully beat the shit out of Amber Heard.
Right.
Fully kicked her in the stomach, like, did a bunch of horrible, violent things. I can't watch Johnny Depp anymore.
I haven't wanted to watch him in years anyway, but
well, yeah, but I mean, he's a talented actor, and every once in a while he's in good shit. So it's like,
thankfully he hasn't been talented or in anything good in a long time. Hot take.
That's a spicy take. I like it.
I don't know if it actually is, because I mean, even the Pirates of the Caribbean movies past the third one,
I don't know.
He's just a cartoon character. And even like the first movie's cool.
It is cool. It holds up pretty well.
Yeah. And the second movie's all right. The third movie's just a continuation of the story of the second movie.
Right.
And then apparently they kept making more of those movies for some reason.
Yeah. But
And
Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom were like, we're not.
Well, yeah, because why would you?
Because why would you?
And then, but of everything I heard is that fucking Captain Jack Sparrow is just a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that sounds about right.
Eliminates what's most interesting about that character, which
Yeah.
is that he is like actually kind of clever and
Yeah, he is like, he's not stupid.
right.
He's also just,
He's just weird as fuck.
yeah.
But yeah, so
You don't
like,
live that long as a pirate if you're a fucking idiot. That's
Yeah.
not how that works.
whereas, right, like we were talking about The Witcher earlier, and like Henry Cavill said some very, very problematic things about like the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
He apologized and explained in detail why he was wrong, and then just hasn't fucked up since then.
Yeah.
But there are people who say, when things were coming out about The Witcher, people were like, "Oh, well, but Henry Cavill problematic, blah blah blah," and it's like, yeah, well, that's fair.
Yeah.
Like, and you're allowed to be like, he said this thing. I don't believe his apology.
Yeah.
Fuck him. That's totally fine and fair. So I'm like, whatever. You just kind of have to choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
There is a weird, I think, like Tumblr-esque obsession with like trying to find like pure media, but I'm here to tell you that there's just nothing.
There's no way.
There's nothing that gets created or consumed under late stage capitalism that is ethical, that is morally made. I mean, it's pretty much nothing.
Yeah. Also, just because you don't know that somebody's done something awful doesn't mean it hasn't happened.
Right. Which is sad and scary.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like, and no matter what music you listen to, what shows you
Right.
watch, whatever, just because, like, we didn't know anything about Harvey Weinstein forever until,
Ever. And he was one of the biggest,
Producers,
most successful
yeah.
and prolific producers in Hollywood.
and then one day the shoe finally dropped.
Right.
But for literally
Decades.
for as long as he had worked in Hollywood, no one said anything.
Right. And people who had tried, like, he was actively suppressing it and succeeding
Yeah.
for a really long time. And that's like, it's really hard to reconcile that, right? So, like, now do you stop watching anything that Weinstein produced?
That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff. And that's fine if you do, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's absolutely your choice. And
You wouldn't be able to watch, what is the train movie with Chris Evans in it?
oh, right.
Fucking,
Jesus freaking Christ. Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
Because he was a producer of Snowpiercer.
Yep.
Right? With like this guy who just directed Parasite, which is apparently an incredible film that's all about like the evils of capitalism, basically, and is nominated for a fuck ton of shit.
Yeah. And won a bunch of awards.
Right. Or like Chris Evans, who is like chugging Respect Women juice all day, every day. And so it's like, there's pretty much never going to be an ethical thing. I mean, it's like working in nonprofits. Like when I was looking for jobs in nonprofits,
God. Wow.
it's like you look around and you're like, okay, well, like there's a lot of these huge nonprofits that are hiring, and they're always hiring because they are doing huge things, but also because turnover tends to be really high because their workers aren't treated very well, or they're actually like implementing things that are harmful to community, right? Like just to be totally honest, you can't escape it. Which isn't to say that you shouldn't try.
Yeah.
Or that you shouldn't be informed, right? Because it's one thing to just be like, oh, I'm just going to be blind to all of this. I'm not going to know anything. And then I'm just going to unknowingly create, like, take in content and...
Look, I'll be the first to admit, Extreme Makeover Home Edition featuring Ty, what's his name?
Ty Pennington.
Yeah. I haven't watched or looked up anything about him, but he disappeared after that show stopped being a thing.
Disappeared. I hope he just went to rehab for his coke habit because it was...
We don't actually... We joke about that. We don't know if that's a real thing. But
I'm
maybe.
pretty sure Ty Pennington was on a lot of coke because he would be up for like a week straight and he would be like...
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. If I lose like 1 hour of sleep, I'm a grumpy bitch. So I don't understand.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
But I also haven't like tried to go watch those old episodes or anything.
Right. I'm sure there's a bunch of bullshit in there, but...
I mean, yeah, probably.
But it's like,
When they hear a kid likes... This kid likes
Oh my
sharks. And then their entire room is shark
because the kid watched like one thing with a shark character and was like, shark. And,
And
like,
then they
you're 3. Now your room is about sharks. And they're like, what's a shark? I like unicorns now.
It's like, your bed's an actual shark. We captured a shark, gutted it, and made it a bed. Like, they just went
Your
overboard.
shelves are shark shaped. Your
Shark
clothes
fins.
now are just a bunch of shark costumes.
There's shark leather.
So Yeah.
But yeah. So, but that show's coming back, new host,
Yeah.
new
One of the
everything.
guys from Modern Family. And like, I'm gonna watch that shit.
Yeah. And it's on HGTV, which I don't think it was on before. I think it was on
No,
something
it was
else.
on like ABC or something. It was on like a major network.
But like that's one of those things where I've gone, I don't know what happened to that guy. I'm not going to look it up, but I'm
Right.
also not going to do anything else with it.
Right. But like, you know, if I saw a show where he was on it, I'd be like, you know what was going on with Ty Pennington between when Extreme Makeover Home Edition and last ended and now?
Yeah.
And I would just give it a quick Google. I mean, and you can't know, especially because when you're thinking about, especially like TV shows or major motion pictures, there's literally thousands of people who work on those things. Like, it takes hundreds of humans to make it happen. And odds are at least one of them is a fucking asshole.
Well, yeah.
Just like odds
Way
are.
more than one.
Probably, but a minimum one.
Yeah.
Which isn't to say,
because like
again, that you just shouldn't care.
Cats is a crime against humanity that should never been made into a movie.
Never.
But there's like 1,000 people that worked on that movie that had nothing to do with the way it looks.
Right.
Like people that worked real hard to try to make the best movie they could.
There was just
And then
somebody
they
holding
saw-
the boom mic.
Yeah, and then they saw the preview and went, "What? I'm gonna have to put this on my resume for the rest of my life."
Somebody was working craft services and was like, I had to tell people that I worked on cats.
No, these people stopped.
So
they're like,
maybe,
"Oh, what did you do
that's
for the next 3 years?"
metaphor.
It's like, why is there a blank spot in your resume for the last 3
Right.
years?
So you want to hold the people responsible accountable, but you don't want to then assume that anyone who works with or has worked with that person.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's important to put things in context.
Yeah.
To not just because you haven't heard an apology, just because the apology didn't go as viral as the misdeed, does not mean that the apology didn't happen.
Yeah.
And the sincerity is something you just have to judge for yourself. Like, there's no way to know how sincere someone is unless you see changed action.
Or you watch a YouTube video and it's got the music.
Oh my God.
Did you know
such
somebody
assholes.
made, I don't remember who it was. I think it was a popular YouTuber, did a YouTube video breaking down YouTuber apologies. And it's like, oh, and at this minute mark, they're going to cry. Like the tears are starting to happen. Like they were able to break down the science of those kinds of videos because they.
What good work.
Yeah.
What a gem.
Yeah, because obviously music plays into a lot of how your emotions
How we
process
emotions
things.
and stuff, yeah.
So it was like, for it's like, well, what kind of is it like a highly edited video? Because that means they had to do it. It's one thing if you sit down, turn something on, and do it, and there's no music, there's no cut or anything, and then you just upload that.
That was kind of I mean, this isn't an apology video, but Nikki Tutorials, who is a makeup YouTuber.
Is this the thing that happened just recently?
Yeah. So she's a trans woman, and she hadn't disclosed that publicly for pretty much the entire time she'd been on YouTube, so like 10 years or something like that. Because she was just like, well, I've already like transitioned as much as I want to transition, and so like I'm just living as a woman named Nikki, and like here we are.
And also, it was nobody's business.
Right. And literally she like puts makeup on people's faces. Like, what does that have to do with it? And it just like is her personal like choice to tell people or not tell people, and she doesn't owe that to anybody. But apparently someone was blackmailing her and saying, we are going to out you if you don't whatever. And so she just made a video, and most of it is just her like sitting in front of like a blank screen just talking. And I mean, and it to the point where like there's parts of the video that are just boring and she's just repeating herself because she's just like talking for like 15 minutes, but it comes across as like this incredibly sincere, like vulnerable, intimate, like it's great content on top of being like, her like reclaiming her power back, even as much as it's like sad because it's not how she wanted to tell people.
If she wanted to tell them at all.
If she wanted to tell them at all, which it sounds like she really didn't. And I cannot fucking blame her, because her comment section under that video was, as you might imagine, horrifying. Way worse than it ever has been, because before people, it wasn't like, oh, all of the like turfy or anti-trans folks all in the comments. Like and she's also fat, so like that was another thing that like she's getting a lot of hate for, but that makes her even more like empowering and interesting because she's like a fat trans woman living in the world and like doing makeup, like being famous for like making beautiful things. And so, but you can tell the sincerity in that. Versus like some of these apology videos with like 20,000 cuts where you can tell they've like done multiple takes
And the music.
And the music.
Swells.
Right. There's literally no music in Nikki's video.
Yeah.
She's just like,
because you can tell when
Hello.
somebody's going out of a concerted, like making it a concerted effort
yeah.
to elicit an emotional response, and when somebody's just like, here's me.
And changed behavior too. Like the biggest thing, because the apology
Yeah.
might not feel sincere. And there's a lot of ways in which people are sort of coached by PR campaigns or whatever to apologize in ways that are about reducing liability in the case of a lawsuit or something. So there's a lot of things that they're just afraid of getting sued.
Yeah.
So they don't say, or they do say certain things that make them sound less sincere.
Yeah.
But their behavior is changed ultimately. And for me, that's the biggest thing, right? So like Henry Cavill saying some fucked up shit, immediately apologizing, saying, yeah, I literally didn't know what I was talking about. And then not saying more dumb shit to me is enough. Yeah. Now that might not be enough for some other people. Everyone's got their own standard.
Yeah.
And that's just like human.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in the camp of like, you know, if there's people whose content you just never want to interact with, that's totally fine.
Yeah. It also doesn't help, like, sometimes celebrities and actors, whatever, what have you, are asked to voice an opinion on things, and
that they know nothing the fuck about.
They're put on the spot, and like, I'm not trying to be like a Henry Cavill apologist, but it's like,
where the question will be leading. Like, I'm pretty sure the question that was asked to him was, do you feel like Me Too makes it harder to talk to women?
Yeah. And he's just like,
which is a dumbass fucking
he's
question.
also not on Twitter,
right?
So he might not even fully understand
an idea
of what
And so
what
he was
the
like,
Me Too
yeah,
movement was.
I mean, I guess you just need to be more careful.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a dumbass thing to say, but the question was stupid. Like, it's a leading question, hoping
to get a
gaffe so that you can publish the headline and sensationalize. Like, it's not done in good faith.
Because even if you went, I'm not gonna give it, like, voice an opinion on it or whatever, is also a thing that they can then run.
Refuses to comment on, like, right, because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, Jamila Jamil's family is from Pakistan, I believe, and there's been a bunch of political unrest going on in India, and there's a bunch of like fascist stuff, and it's really bad. There's a lot of violence. Like, they've been attacking universities. It's like crazy. And somebody on Twitter like reached out to her, was like, hey, like, can you comment on this situation in India and stuff like that? And she was like, I really don't like know a lot about it. And then people were like, you're so ignorant and ill-informed, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, whoa, just hadn't heard it. Also, like, I'm pretty sure my family is Pakistani, not Indian. So don't just assume that all brown people just like know everything about brown world event. Like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Like, I don't know what, like, you can't, I'm a white person. You can't come up to me like, what do you think about Brexit? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Right, like, I don't have an in-depth opinion about every single world event that
has white people involved.
Right, like, first of all, we would never be able to get shit done because we'd have to sit reading about the new thing white people fucked up every day in every individual country. But like, she was just like, I just wanted to be more informed before I said anything.
Yeah. Which isn't a bad thing.
Which is not a bad thing. And like,
but people act like if you don't immediately know about something.
Right. And it's like, well, what? Like,
yeah.
She's like working. She's like, I'm filming things all day. Like, I don't have time to read the news today because I had a 14-hour shoot. Like, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
Like,
also,
I'm also a person.
you shouldn't just read the news every day because you'll want to murder yourself.
Right. And people have a right to not know. And just because someone isn't knowing doesn't mean that they don't care.
Yeah.
It just means that they're not informed, and not everyone knows all the same stuff. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people will play like a wokeness contest. That's like, well,
how many woke points do you got?
Right. Well, like, how could you not know? I don't know. I just hadn't seen that particular article today.
Yeah. Shit.
Like, I don't know. Like, I just haven't had diarrhea, so I haven't had time to scroll through Twitter that far while I pooped.
Yeah. Like,
and that's how I get my news, y'all.
Like, one of the things I saw yesterday is CD Projekt Red, the developers of The Witcher 3, and the Witcher games before that, are putting out a game called Cyberpunk 2077, and it got delayed from April to September. And a lot of people in my timeline were like, oh no, da 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 da. Moggs, shout out.
Shout out to Moggs.
He didn't, like, he saw someone else that I mutually follow tweet about it, and he was like, well, what's going on? I don't know. And my first reaction was like, your job is playing video games and streaming. How do you not know this? But my other thing is like, well, he probably just didn't see the tweet.
Right.
Which is like, there's no
Which,
reason.
like, happens.
Yeah. There's no reason for me to like at him and be like, how did you not know? Like,
This is just such a dick move.
yeah. It's
If
like,
I think about it a lot because I teach. So I'm like, imagine if I acted that way toward my students.
Oh,
When they
yeah,
came
like-
into my classroom and they were like, I'm not sure how to do this thing. I'd be like, oh, you don't know? Are you stupid? They'd be like,
you don't know how to
"Literally."
format your paper?
They would be like, I literally come here to learn things. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, you either come, and you don't have to educate everybody.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between, like, it's not your job to teach everybody everything, and you never have to teach people things if you expect them to know
Yeah.
them. Like, that's not, those things don't make any sense. Like,
Yeah.
if you want people to be informed, you have to be willing to inform them.
Yeah. And also not be an asshole about it.
Right. Or you can just be like, oh, that person clearly is unaware of this thing.
Yeah.
They're obviously not an authority who I'm going to listen to on this subject until they get informed.
Yeah.
Like, if you're looking to random celebrities on Twitter
So,
to have good takes on geopolitical events, you are looking at the wrong place.
yeah.
Incorrect. I would never look at the girl from The Good Place to have a good take
Which
on what's
one?
going on. Jamila Jamil.
Oh, okay.
To have a good take on what's going on in another fucking country.
Oh, yeah. That
Like,
doesn't make any
she would
sense.
just, she's not the person I would look to as an authority figure.
Yeah.
I would not look to Henry Cavill, some random straight white dude.
Yeah. Or Chris Evans even.
Or
like,
Chris
even
Evans
if I
even,
agree with
for
his
an
opinions,
opinion on Me Too. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't fucking matter
Yeah.
what they think about Me Too. It's not about them.
Yeah. It's like, even if I agree with his opinions on a lot of things, it doesn't mean that I should seek them out.
Right. It doesn't mean he's going to be the most educated voice on the subject.
Yeah.
So it's really like,
In fact, I mean, with how much actors work when they actually are actively shooting,
right.
he probably doesn't.
Right. And so it's really just like, just don't be a dick.
Yeah. But,
I have to head out
okay.
because I'm going to
Are you-
have oysters.
Are you going to leave right this second? Can we finish together?
Hey.
Oh my God.
No, we can say.
Okay.
I'm gonna order this.
But the last thing I was going to say that I don't remember off the top of my head now, because, it's just, I didn't actively tweet at Moggs being like, how did you not hear about that? Because, A, it's a dick move, and B, people have lives. That's it. Just respect the fact that somebody might not have heard about something.
And it's just like living their life.
But yeah, this was all over the place as per usual.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's just what happens.
We
though.
are who we are.
Yeah. But yeah, this is going to be the end of the episode. Before we do the whole outro thing, I want to say thank you to all of the Patreon peeps. Achilles, Patrick, Cert, Quinn, and T-Rex with a shotgun. Thank you so much for supporting Patreon.
We love you.
If you want to watch the Patreon, or you want to watch the Patreon, you want to watch a visual video episode of the podcast, patreon.com/The Polishing Podcast, ThePolishinG PODCAST, for, if you need to know how to spell it. And it's the $5 tier. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys who listen to the audio version, even if you're not like paying for anything. I still appreciate it a lot.
Leave us a comment. Tell us your hot takes.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks for listening. We appreciate it, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.
Woo!
I'm Nico, otherwise known as Nico All Powerful. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, that stuff. Then yeah.
Yay! Bye.
Are you?
Oh, I'm Allie. You can find me on Twitter at Allie Mac. Yeah, if you want to complain about teaching.
But yeah, that's will be it, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.